Hey everybody, I just read a good article in today's Wall Street Journal about smartphones and how they're hijacking our minds. The typical smartphone owner uses it 80 times a day. That's 30,000 times a year. Scientists say phones shape our thoughts, and the effects persist without phones. They cause anxiety when you can't look at your phone. As our brain grows dependent on technology, the intellect weakens. It makes it harder to concentrate on a problem or a job. You know, if you're in the middle of something and then you hear it ring or buzz, even if you can't take it out, like if you're on a job, it ruins your concentration. The division of attention impedes reasoning and performance. Then, and in here in the article, a Gallup survey said that over half of users couldn't imagine life without their phone. This is a good thing I found here. A 2015 Journal of Experimental Psychology study involving 166 subjects found that when people's phones beep or buzz while they're in the middle of a challenging task, their focus wavers and their work gets sloppier whether they check the phone or not. And another study with 41 users showed that when people hear their phone ring but are unable to answer it, their blood pressure spikes, their pulse quickens, and their problem-solving skills decline. That's not good. Now, the Journal Association for Consumer Research, Dr. Ward, said that integration of smartphones into daily life appears to have caused a brain drain that can diminish vital mental skills as learning, logical reasoning, abstract thought, problem solving, and creativity. Then there's something called the Google effect, which is, you know, when we need it, we'll look it up, and it reduces the mental effort to remember information. Because you know, there's been studies done where people where they have to have their, you know, they have their smartphone in another room, or they have their smartphone on them, and then they take a test. The people that had their smartphones on them always did poorly. Even if they're allowed to use the smartphone, they did more poorly than the people that couldn't have access to their phones, and their phones had to be in another room. They had to use their mind. And this is another good one here. In another study, it shows that smartphones affected learning in a lecture class with 160 students at the University of Arkansas. They found that students that didn't bring their phones to the classroom scored a full letter grade higher on a test of the material presented than those who brought their smartphones, even if the ones that brought the smartphones were allowed to use the smartphones. Then there's another good quote from psychologist and philosopher William James from an 1892 lecture over a century ago. He said, "The art of remembering is the art of thinking. Only by encoding information in our biological memory can we weave the rich intellectual association that forms the essence of personal knowledge and gives rise to critical and conceptual thinking. No matter how much information swirls around us, the less well stocked our memory, the less we have to think with." And also another good quote, "It isn't our reasoning that takes a hit when phones are around. Social skills and relationships seem to suffer as well, because smartphones serve as a constant reminder of all the friends we could be chatting with electronically. They pull at our minds when we're talking with people in person, leaving our conversation shallower and less satisfying. So, and also scientists have long known that the brain is a monitoring system as well as a thinking system. So, bottom line is, we could go on, but bottom line is the phones are diminishing mental exercises. It's diminishing the intellect, because you don't have to think anymore. It's, oh, I'll just look it up, it's right there. And then also it's just constantly distracting. Dan Rather, the journalist, did a piece one time where he said over 90% of the emails and text messages we get are a complete waste of time. But when we respond to that, it takes time away from the task, and then when you're done responding, you get back to your task, but it takes time to get back into the mode of doing that task. So it's constantly chopping at people's days, and it's really lowering the efficiency rate, and it's just a complete brain drain. So I don't have it on me right now, but here it is here. I'm glad I still have just a little flip phone. Just need it for communication. I don't need to be on it all the time checking stuff. That's a waste of time. So anyways, my thought on smartphones.